Hello and welcome to Pink Flowers Games. Today is the second part in my Sims World Rebuild series, so I hope you enjoy and let's get right into the video. Alright, here we are in Create a Sim, and for once I decided to keep kind of like the auto-generated, like pre-generated sim that they had given me, and so I worked with this rather than usually like completely changing it around. And I thought this was very fitting because I'm still working in the same like area and I was gonna build a cottage, and so I was like, this is actually perfect. Like he was giving like farm vibes, so I made sure to like do that and really get that vibe with him. And I do end up getting rid of the hat. I didn't like the hat that much, so I ended up going back later and getting rid of it. But this is just me going through, and I do really like his like top bit to his outfit. And this time I included all the outfits because it wasn't as long as it was the first time. So this time I just decided to include me decorating or designing all the outfits rather than the last time where I cut out some of them because there was a few more sims. This one there's only 2 sims and a dog, but yeah, I decided to give this little like single dad, loves animals. Like, he's athletic, the vegetarian. I don't remember what the other one is. I wasn't paying enough attention. But I definitely played heavily into the animal loving part of this and just really took that and went with it. I think it's really fitting though for the area that it is in anyways. It's a very like cottagey area. And here's a little dog, and I had to go with the classic, a golden retriever. I thought it was just really fitting for it being a little cottage with just like if you think of like a farm dog kind of thing, like the classic golden retriever. And then this is his daughter, and she's so cute. I love her so much. And that little top that I give her, I'm kind of here for it. I kind of love it a lot. It's really cute, and I think it fits her so well. I honestly love it so much. I kind of like, I wish I wore something like that when I was a kid, like, because it's so cute. And like, I kind of wanted to give it like, she just kind of dresses herself all the time, and her dad's not really like super big on fashion and doesn't really understand it very much. It's always just her kind of dressing herself, and so she kind of gets away with wearing whatever she wants. So maybe sometimes the outfits don't make sense, or the way her room's decorated doesn't make sense, but I think overall that makes it a lot more fitting and a lot more authentic to how a kid might actually decorate their room, or how a kid might actually dress themselves compared to how someone's parents might dress them. I think it was just really fitting for this family dynamic to just kind of have something a bit more chaotic, but like more lifelike. It's more realistic than, you know, if she were to dress herself like very, very nicely, which she could. But that top, I love it so much. Oh, and then here I am picking the lot, and this time I did look up references for what I wanted the house to look like. So that definitely helped me a lot more. I'll make sure to include some images of the references I used. I kind of took 2 like cottage styles that I liked and kind of just plopped them together, and I think in the end it really turned out really well and actually worked out a lot better than I originally thought it was going to. I did originally want to put a chimney, but I couldn't really like find a way to actually get it to work in the way I wanted. So I'm pretty sure I ended up getting rid of the chimney. And so now I'm doing the little upstairs, and I wanted to do this little like roof where like just the front part of the room hangs out. I like when houses look like that. But I do end up going back and having to change how I did the one roof part because you can't see like inside the upper level, and I forgot that was gonna happen. So I go back later and change it by adding in like different kinds of roofs. But I do this overall like look at the house. I think it's so cute and I love it so much, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. And this little porch is adorable. I couldn't figure out what side I wanted the stairs on for a while. I was originally gonna have them on this side, but then I figured it was going to make more sense to have them on the opposite side because the gate and entranceway was going to be closer to that side. So I figured it would make more sense to have it over there rather than on the opposite side. But the porch is so cute. I like getting to decorate a little porch every now and then. And then I just go around figuring out the like sidings and bricks that I wanted for the house. And I did all bricks. I didn't do any like shingles or side panels for this. I just did all brick for this house. I wasn't originally going to, but I was like, I think that fits a lot more for the like cottage feel. Just 2 different types of brick. So like the lighter brick for the main part of the house, and then the little darker bricks for like the side area. Like, I don't know, it's closer to the outdoors. But I wanted this little cottage so that I could do a lot with the land outside, so that they could have a lot more outdoor space rather than a big house and a little outdoor space, because he likes animals. So I really wanted to be able to include like the animal sheds and not just the house and then like they have just the dog. I wanted him to actually be able to have lots of animals that he could take care of, and even like his daughter could take care of. And I do a little like flower, like little garden bed like right in front of this part of the building, and I'm honestly so proud of it. I think it turned out so cute in the end, and honestly I was kind of shocked by how good I did, so I'm very proud of it. I think it turned out really well. But overall, I'm really happy with like the exterior of this house and the interior. It took a lot of like time to figure out how I wanted the interior to be laid out, because it's a lot smaller on the inside than I thought it was going to be, especially having 2 people, and I'm pretty sure I forgot to put a dog bed inside the house, so I'm gonna have to go back at some point and put one in if I ever actually play through any of these houses, which I don't know if I'm going to, but if I do, I'm gonna have to put one in there, because the poor dog does not have a dog bed, and I didn't realize that until after, when I was editing through like the video clips for this, and I was so upset because I was like, oh man, I can't believe I forgot to give the dog a dog bed. But this is the little like, that's where I do the little like flowery bit. I don't do it yet though. So that's the barn, the chicken coop, and then I get a little beehive, and then I've got garden areas. Like, I think honestly there's so much going on outside, but I think that's so fitting. I feel like they'd just be a very outdoorsy kind of family. And this, I've never used this table and chairs that I end up using. I'd never used them before. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so fitting. Like, he loves his daughter, so it's just like they like did a little craft together where they'd like painted themselves or something like that. That's kind of the idea I was going for with that, because I think they're like very close to each other. And I gave him a little garden table because I was like, oh, this man loves gardening, everything outdoors. He's an outdoorsy kind of person. I remembered the mailbox this time. I didn't remember the mailbox in my last build, which was kind of annoying that I forgot about it last time, but I remembered it this time. And here is where I start to decorate this little like flower bed, and I think it ended up turning out really cute. I definitely spent a lot more time on it than I usually would, but I think in the end that like paid off, because I think it's really cute. And for me, it goes to show like what else I'd probably also be able to do. Like, if I can do this, I can get better at doing stuff similar to this and make things that look even better than what I was able to do this time. Like, I put rocks in there just to make it a little more different, and I just think like it turned out really, really well, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. And I think it just adds a little something, because otherwise this place would look like, this place right in front of this part of the house would look kind of empty, and so it just kind of like gives something else to the rest of the building and doesn't make the whole thing look as empty. And I think it actually turned out really cute, and I'm really happy with it. And I just think the whole outdoors of the house actually turned out really good. I think I spent a lot of time on the outdoors. I think that's probably also why I did it first, so I would give more attention to it rather than saving it to the end and then not giving as much attention to it. So I think definitely doing it at the start made me put in a lot more attention, because I was a lot more focused and had a lot more energy when I was doing it, so that when I got to the things I actually enjoy, like making a lot more, I was able to just kind of like not have to think as much about it, because they're things I enjoy making a lot and just know a lot more about how I want to decorate them, and it doesn't take as much actual like sitting there and thinking about how I want certain aspects to look. I just kind of like inherently know how I want it to look and don't really have to think too much about it. So I think it was very helpful for me doing this first rather than doing it how I did with the last house, and I think it paid off overall in the end. This is another thing I love to do. I like to put dirt around the house, like the foundation of the house, and around places like where people would walk a lot, especially over here by where there's animals. I was like cows, chickens, all walking around, the people walking around to feed them. Like there would be a lot of like foot traffic, lots of walking around. So it's not going to be just this perfect grass. There's going to be lots of dirt around because there's always like walking on it. So that's why I did more of this, and I feel like I could have done a better job at it, but I'm still just trying to understand really how it works. So I've definitely like improved at it, but I think it still turned out pretty good, and I'm still really happy with how the exterior of this house and the interior of this house turned out. So I don't really like regret doing it the way I did. And then here's the little front porch that I decorated. I love this little bench. It's a little custom content bench, but I use it all the time in my builds because it's just so cute. I love a little like porch bench and a little sitting area and a porch. And these little hanging plants from I think it's the knitting or like the crochet or whatever. I don't remember, from that little kit. And they're so cute. So I put them like one in each. I don't know what that's called, but one in each of those little like cutout things. And I just think they look so cute, and they kind of just add a little charm to this. This is a very like cute, cozy cottage. Definitely like feels very lived in, and I kind of really like that about it. I think it adds a lot. And here's where I realized you couldn't see inside the top floor of the house, so I go back and figure out how I can change it in a way to actually be able to edit the main part of the room, because I knew I would need that like the roof space for, I knew the house was going to be small, so I would need that roof space for like a room or something. So, but this is what I ended up doing. I ended up putting those two like half roofs and then the one main roof, and I just point it in a way where they'll end up connecting, and then I add windows because the roof's a lot bigger now, so I end up adding windows, and then I readjust them so that they're in line with where the actual room is. But I think in the end this was a lot better because you can actually see inside, and I tried to see if I could make it bigger, but that just was not gonna end up working out. I was gonna make the roof so big that at that point I might as well just have a second floor, and I didn't want to do that. And now I'm actually getting into the interior. I couldn't figure out how I wanted it laid out for the longest time. It was a very small area, and I couldn't really figure out. I was like, I need at least 2 bedrooms, a kitchen and a bathroom, and like a living room area. And I couldn't figure out how I wanted to lay it out so that I could fit all of that stuff in here. I was gonna put a ladder at some point, but the end of the ladder, all the places I wanted to put it ended up being places where there was no room upstairs. So I ended up getting rid of the ladder, and I ended up putting in a staircase at the end. And I think that ended up being better. I don't know, something about having ladders in the builds. I don't usually like having ladders in like houses. I don't know, like not on first floor to second floor. Maybe if it was to like an attic or something. But I don't really like having ladders as like the main way to get up to the second floor of a house. I prefer having the staircases because it's not something I've ever seen in like real life. In any building, in any houses I've been in. It could actually be a thing, and I've just never seen it, but it's not something I've ever seen, so it's not something I usually include. And so I end up putting the staircase right there, and I think that ends up working out really well actually. And then I end up redoing like the whole layout of the downstairs. Like I've tried to mess around with this layout for a while because I really was trying to fit a lot of things in this like small area. Like when I try to do tiny houses, it doesn't end very well because I like too many things in the houses. So tiny houses are not for me. I will try to build some at some point, but honestly they never go very well every time I try to build them because I always try to put so many things in the house because there's just so many things I always want in a house and that I want to show and that I like decorating. So I definitely do like decorating bigger houses, but this size, I think this, like a smaller size like this, is probably what I like decorating the most. because it's just enough to keep me really engaged, but also making me really have to think about how I want everything to be laid out and designed. So I think something about that is really charming and really helpful, actually, when it comes to decorating houses, building houses in The Sims, like just having a good size and working with it that way. So I was originally going to have these 2 rooms downstairs, but I ended up getting rid of the one, and because I wanted it more open, and because I was originally going to be where my bathroom was, but then I ended up putting the bathroom upstairs along with one of the bedrooms. So there's a bedroom downstairs and a bedroom upstairs, and I ended up putting the living room there. So the only bathroom is upstairs, but they only really need 1 bathroom for the 2 of them. So I think that overall works out pretty well, just having the bathroom upstairs. And now I'm just going through, I'm putting some lights in, so it's not going to be completely dark when I'm decorating it like it sometimes can be. And then the first thing I do this time is the girls' room. And honestly, I was really going for, like, not everything needing to make sense and really making it look lived in, and like she was the one that decorated it, so really having that childhood joy. I feel like in the last house that I decorated, that was something I kind of missed and didn't really include as much. So I was trying to finding some wacky things, remembering back to how my room looked when I was little and how it had all these wacky things that kind of didn't make sense together, but in a way it still looked cute and like it looked like a kid's room. And so I really wanted that childhood joy to be like portrayed in her room rather than it looking all nice and super put together. I just feel like that's not like how a kid's room would actually be. So I was trying to find all these things that definitely screamed like a kid. Actually, this is actually a kid's room. A kid actually lives here. And you can tell by how I decorated the room, and I think that really was worth it, and I'm really happy with it, rather than in the last build where it kind of was dull and didn't really have the childhood joy behind it that I wanted to go for. So I definitely tried a lot more with this room and really wanted to make sure it worked and was shown this time when I was making the room, which I wanted to do last time but just didn't really get across the way I wanted to. But I definitely like put a lot in this room, and I definitely spent a lot of time on it. And this little koala thing is adorable. I love it so much. I really wanted to put it. I kept trying to find places to put it, and it is so cute. I love it so much. I would have had something like that when I was a kid. I love it. It's adorable. And then I wanted to put curtains on the windows. I remembered curtains a bit more this time. I think I managed to put them in both the bedrooms. And the kitchen. So I did remember that curtains existed this time, but I had to readjust the windows for it because the curtain rod on the one window was going through the wall, and I didn't want that, so I ended up moving the windows and readjusting that a bit. And then put the curtains on, but it worked out, and I think they were really cute. I did end up also moving the bookshelf because the curtains were kind of clipping through the bookshelf, and so I put the bookshelf in a different spot, and then was able to have the curtains on that wall, and I think that ended up working out really well. I did want a bookshelf, but I could not figure out where I'd wanted it, and it ends up staying in that place it's in now, but I moved it a few times. The wall that I had it originally on, I liked that, but I didn't want it the curtains clipping through it, so definitely moving it in the end was probably the better decision. But yeah, I really like how this room turned out. It's kind of like cutesy and like glittery, and like you can tell like she really likes her room, like hanging things on the wall. Like if I was a kid, I probably would have a room very similar to this. Like my room kind of was very similar to this when I was a kid. I had lots of things on my wall, lots of decorations in my room. And my room now still kind of looks like this. So I think it tracks, you know? But yeah, definitely really cute. Very happy with how this room turned out. Probably like my favorite room in the whole house is her room. So I definitely am very, very happy with her room overall. And it really gives like that a kid lives here, and I really like that about it. once I finished up with her room, I ended up going upstairs so I could decorate the bathroom. And now I only had these 6 tiles to work with for the bathroom, so I was definitely struggling for a little bit on how I wanted to lay out the bathroom. I wanted to make this layout that I had here work, and like trying to fit it all in here, but in a way that still looked cute. But I couldn't really get this way to work out as well as I'd wanted, so I ended up like kind of flipping it, as you can see, and like rearranging it that way, and then I ended up keeping it this way, and I think it worked out a lot better. I'm pretty sure you can, I'm not really sure how it all works. I think you can still use the shower even if it's overlapping with the doorway. I'm not 100% certain on that. I haven't really made these like where you could actually play through them, so there could be things that don't work with some of the houses, because it's not like I'm making these with the intent of actually playing with them. I'm making them with the intent of just being able to design the houses in a way that looks like, you know, just redoing the world rather than playing through them. I don't play through my houses that often, actually. I kind of just build the houses, make the Sims for it, and then move on to a different house. Which could be its own problems for that. But I think there might be some houses that I don't make any Sims for, because if I do end up actually playing through this world, I want like some buildings where there's no one that lives there, so that, you know, people can live there. Or I'll just make really old Sims so that by the time people need to move houses, there's empty houses, you know? But I think this bathroom actually turned out really cute once I actually figured out how I wanted to do it. I kind of made it look a little more run down, because, you know, this house I think would be a little bit older. It's not like the newest house, so it's kind of run down, so there's some things that were just kind of left the way they were when they had bought the house. But I think it turned out really cute, and it definitely has everything that you need in the bathroom. And then I moved on to the father's bedroom, and I think it's really cute, actually, and I'm pretty sure I forgot the dog bed, unless I put the dog bed in his room, but I'm pretty sure I didn't, so that's a bit frustrating. I'm still thinking about the fact that I forgot the dog bed, but I think this room honestly turned out really good. It was a very like limited space I had to work with for a full bedroom, especially since I usually like having the double beds for the adult Sims, even if it's like a single Sim. I don't like having the twins in case I ever decide to, like, if they ever decide to have a partner, and like when I'm playing through, so I always like to have the double bed rather than just the singles. But I think this is really cute, and I ended up going with those paintings above his bed, and my thought process behind that was that it was like paintings and art that his daughter had made, and he wanted a place to display it, so he displayed it in his room right above his bed, so he could always remember it every single time that he went into his room or before bed. I really just wanted to portray the fact that they were very close and had a very close relationship, and so I definitely wanted to portray that throughout the build. So there was things like little things just like that really just kind of pushed that point home. But I'm happy with his room. I think it's really cute, and I'm happy with both the bedrooms. Her bedroom is probably still my favorite, though. I love her bedroom. It is the most adorable thing ever. So her bedroom is definitely winning, but that little fox lamp is so cute. I love it so much. Oh, there's so many little cute things in this build that I just love so much. Yeah, but his room, definitely, I'm really happy with it. I'm happy pretty much overall with this whole build, which isn't something that always happens, but I think I'm very happy with this build just overall. And so, yeah, just being able to be happy with the whole build was something that I'm really excited about, because it really showed that I spent a lot of time and cared a lot about how this build turned out. And then this is their little kitchen. I gave them this like parenthood kitchen set. I like using this one every now and then, and I think it's very cute. They have little countertops, so I didn't really go in and decorate the countertops in this one like I did the last time, because I still want it to be usable, so you can't really use the countertops as much if they're all filled up with objects, so I didn't really decorate them as much. But I did put this little table in there, which when I first started decorating houses, I'd always forget, like sometimes kitchens can have little tables like that. and so I started including them, and I think it's really cute and I really like it, and I'm really happy with this kitchen. I keep saying like this room's my favorite or this room's my favorite, but I don't think the kitchen's my favorite. I think the living room or the kids' bedroom is one of my favorites, but this is definitely like super cute and I'm really happy with it. And I did remember the dog existed when I decorated the kitchen because I got the food bowl, the food bowl for the dog. But I don't, have a dog bed. Unless I did put one and I just forgot. But I can't remember. I don't think I put one. And it's so sad that the poor little dog doesn't have a dog bed because I decided to forget about it. I didn't even put like any dog toys outside now that I'm thinking about it. So if I were to like redo anything, including more things for the dog because I forgot about them and didn't put anything for it, and now I'm upset about it. So now we're starting to get into the living room area, and I can't decide if this room's my favorite or if her little bedroom is my favorite. Also, you'll notice I forgot to put the floor tiles up on that second floor, like landing area. I don't think I go back in. I do end up putting them in there. I don't think I end up putting that in any of the times that was recorded. I think I ended up doing that like afterwards. But yeah, the living room, I was spending so long in how I wanted it to be laid out because I didn't have like the biggest area to work with, but there was still a big enough area to have a living room, but I couldn't figure out how I wanted it laid out where it would kind of all make sense. I did want this bigger fireplace, but every time I tried to figure out like how I wanted to put the TV, I was just like, well, if someone sat here, they wouldn't really be able to see it very well, or if someone sat here, they wouldn't be able to see it very well. So I ended up not going for that fireplace and just going for a little like coffee table for the TV instead, and I think that ended up working out better, like this layout I ended up going for. But I really wanted to put the TV on a fireplace. I do that a lot in some of my builds, so I guess it's good to have some variety in the way that I'm doing my builds. But yeah, I really wanted to include that fireplace, and I do still put a fireplace. I ended up putting the same one that I used in the last build, which, now that I'm thinking about it more, I probably could have fit another one, like a different one, like the one I was trying to use before, but that probably would have been super close to the staircase then, so I think it ended up, I don't really like reusing the same exact furniture as I did in the last build, but I think it's still cute and it still worked out. I wanted to put a piano at one point, but there was no room, so I didn't end up putting a piano. But then there's this little laundry area, which is really just right as you walk in, and then I did decorated the entrance a little bit, made it really cute, and then I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it for the entire build. I go around and like place light switches and outlets around, which is something I wanted to do in the last build and then kind of forgot about. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that's like everything I did for this build, and honestly, I think it turned out really cute and I'm really happy about it. And so yeah, I'll just let you guys watch the rest of this, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching Pink Flowers Games. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's anything that you'd want to see differently. And I'm going to keep up this series and my Minecraft series, and maybe every now and then I'll throw in some other videos. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed. Bye!